morning football, everybody. Hour number 2 here on a Monday. It is October 4th. Week 4 highlights. Week 4 continuing tonight in the AFC West. The Chargers and the Raiders go at it. Our show today brought to you by Old Trapper Beef Jerky as we are in New York City. My name is Kay Adams, Peter Schrager, Kyle Brett, Michael Robinson in the building. And we've got nothing but highlights. We will try to hit every team, but we all know it was an epic matchup last night. A lot of ins, a lot of outs, a lot of what have you. So we hit the lead block.
Lead block. Welcome to the entire emotional experience of Brady returning to Foxborough. We'll start with he and the boss man. He once told Robert Kraft, drafting me is the best decision this organization ever made. I don't know if Mr. Kraft believed that at the time, but man, does everybody believe it now, including those two ladies who were all over the broadcast with their homemade signs. Bill Belichick, he had a great defensive game plan. If you were waiting for a Bucs annihilation, it did not happen. Kind of a buzzkill that Gronkowski didn't go, but the ribs, painful, tough breathing. He did not make the start, did not dress, did not do anything. Brady did pass the career passing yards leader, and there's Brees.
That's all the congratulations he got.
That's it. That's it. I mean, those guys are still competitors, man. I don't know if Brees loved that night, but he did his best. 3-0 Tampa, and then Mac Jones says, hold the phone. Enough about the old Patriots quarterback. I got a game to win. He goes to Hunter Henry. Bah! Touchdown right into the steady cam. Look at that.
Flex zone. Look at that.
All right, Matt. I'm into that.
Adorable.
Third quarter, the Bucs could not get any offense going. They could not score. Finally, Ronald Jones, of all people, on a night when Brady doesn't throw a touchdown, gets in for the first Bucs touchdown of the night. So they take the lead. Everybody had their custom shirts, and hopefully they paid Vanilla Gorilla for him. Peter, what do you think of that one?
It's a shirt.
Florida man. I get it, yes. And look at this. Janu. All right, so the two free agent tight ends that Belichick spent the money on in the post-Brady era, and there's another Photoshop, they both score. Mac's feeling it, and you get the feeling that this night, is that man in the GOAT costume going to look any more absurd than he already does? Because Brady's got to win this game, right? 17-16. Brady going up top to who is that, Mike? Leonard Fournette.
Leonard Fournette. About it. He got hands.
He does have hands, and he had a really good game last night, too. Calvin was like, bro, are you kidding me? Belichick did not like it. It seemed for a while the rain included pass interference flags, of which there were many. None on this, though. Brady hasn't thrown a better pass than this in a couple of years because you can't. This is a 10 out of 10.
Look at that pass.
Normally, Antonio Brown makes it 9 out of 10 times. I guess that was the 10th turn. He drops it. No fault on Brady there. So then you bring in the Ryan Suckup experience, who was really their best weapon last night outside of maybe Fournette, and he drills it. Okay, so Bucs take the lead. They're supposed to win this game. Everybody's picking him with Mac Jones again out into the Foxborough night with under 2 minutes to play. And he goes, another penalty. It's got ugly. What?
Devin White's like,
Devin White, did you just hit me with the flag? Be careful. I'll hit you back. All right,
Devin White was awesome yesterday, by the way.
Devin White was fantastic. And on a 3rd and 3, pass deflected. Levante gets his hand on it, Mike, because if he doesn't, that's a completed pass. Who knows what happens? What happens now is Nick Folk is going to try a 56-yard field goal to take the lead. No. He doinks it. It's over. Brady comes out. You take the knee. The Buccaneers win 19-17. Not a score anybody thought was coming, but they have more points than the Patriots, and that is all that matters. Brady says, heck yes. And he hugs Belichick. We're going to get into the nuances of this later, but there was an embrace, and there was a 19-17 win by the Buccaneers. And so many questions for Brady afterwards, including little cute topics like, Tom, did you get confused about which tunnel to run out? Take it away, Goat.
Well, I couldn't run through the normal tunnel, so, yeah, it just happened to be the opposite way tonight. And it's just fun, a lot of emotions, and it's a very, very emotional week. Just, again, these guys are like my brothers, you know what I mean? And I got to, you know, there's two groups of people, all of my Bucs teammates that I love, and I'm going to battle with every week. And then there's another group of guys that I see, and those are my friends that I've been with for a long time, Matt Slater and Kyle Van Noy and Dante Hightower and John and Devin and David Andrews and Hoyer, and there's a whole crew, Josh, and it's just, you know, these are the people that I've shared my life with, and very grateful for everything that they've kind of contributed to my life.
And there it is. Cue the Adele. slow-mo it. That is the goalpost. The doink. What a doink that was. Very loud, aggressive, decibel levels. Guinness was called, the whole 9. All right, let's bring in Mike Giardi. He's in Foxborough for us this morning. You've been there. I feel like you slept there last night. Don't tell me. That was quite the scene in New England last night. It's very special to be there. Super Bowl atmosphere, a lot of drama, emotions are running high. Tell me about that. Tell me how Brady was feeling in that return.
I mean, look, all week long, Brady tried to pretend like he wasn't going to let his emotions get the better of him, that he's some sort of cyborg or Terminator, and this doesn't impact him at all. But that's crazy. Anybody who covered him, as I have for the entire duration of his time here in New England, anybody who's been around him at all knows he's very emotional. And there have been times during his career with the Patriots where he was so amped up to start a game that he's spraying balls into the second row of the stands, because that's just who he is. He lives off that. He feeds off of it, and then eventually he settles down. I think last night he came into this thing, and he was all sorts of conflicted. The crowd is giving him the Brady chance when he comes on the field. Then when it's the actual first series of the game for the Buccaneers, he gets booed. And as he said, that was awesome. He kind of feeds off of that, too. He loves that sort of energy. But I think there was no way for him to settle his emotions down for a better part of this game. And his offensive coordinator, Byron Leftwich, he predicted that. He said, like, how can it not be emotional for him? For 20 years, what he did with Bill Belichick, what he did in New England, what he means to those people there, what they mean to him. And I thought it was nice to hear him talk about it in that clip that you played there about, you know, he sort of has two groups of friends, if you will, right now. His Buccaneers people, they're his brothers, they're his teammates right now. But there's all those guys that he's shared so much time with here in New England. Guys like offensive coordinator Josh McDaniels, Devin McCourty, all those people that mean so much to him. And when he left the field after he did his post-game interview, you know, there was probably a couple thousand people left in the stands that had waited for him, and he blew kisses in a nice manner. He waved to all sides of the field. He ran off. He was pointing to people. It meant a lot to him, and it should. I mean, he had a wonderful career here, and now that career goes on in Tampa Bay.
And despite the loss, those fans in the stands, of course, his old teammates who he named and kept naming and naming and naming, and the ones that he faced, probably pretty excited about this rookie quarterback that they have, despite a loss last night. Thank you so much, Mike Giardi, for covering this epic game for us. We'll talk to you in a little bit and all day here on NFL Network. We all know Bill Belichick went into the Tampa Bay visiting locker room, spoke to Tom Brady after the game. Brady said, yeah, we sort of told each other we'd catch up after all is said and done. So how do we feel now? The game is played. The reign is over. The actual reign. Whose reign is beginning between the two of them? I don't know. Brady, Belichick. Let's talk about the debate and where you stand on it now this morning.
I think we had a whole week of build-up, and I think one of the scenarios that was possible was Brady goes scorched earth and wins 47-3, and it's Brady and Belichick. After last night, I think Brady still has the upper hand, but I think we're a little bit closer to the scales being a little even. We saw that Belichick can still scheme and make a game plan that can give a opposing quarterback some real problems. But at the end, when they needed Brady most, and Mike's right, he was sailing passes early. He did not look like his best version of himself. Brady found ways, and I thought he used his legs on a key third down conversion that showed that Tom Brady is still the winner when you need him. Here it is, 3rd and 6 late in the game. Brady, under pressure, doesn't do this often, but when they needed him to, he just finds a way, sprawls out, moves the chains, keeps the ball in Tampa, and then he looks at it like, look at that face.
Look at it.
Yeah, I got it.
Did I get it?
I got it.
Spin that ball.
As Mike Giardi's talking to us, the league leaders scoreboard is behind him.
Yeah.
Brady leads the NFL in passing yards. He's got 10 touchdowns, 2 interceptions. His team is still in the driver's seat in the NFC South. And when they needed him most, Brady found a way to move the chains. Right now, I think we could all look at this and say Brady's the greatest quarterback of all time. Belichick coached a heck of a game last night. Brady just had a little bit more in the end.
Yeah, I think, again, like I said in the last hour, I think both of these teams won. Yeah, only one team won on the scoreboard. But to your point earlier, I think Bill Belichick knows now that he has his quarterback possibly for the next 20 years. Because the kid looks just like Tom Brady. But I'm going to keep it on the Tom Brady side of things. I think the Bucs, I think it was a great game. I thought it was a good game being played. I thought Bill Belichick did his thing in scheming some things. Oftentimes we see Bill Belichick change up schemes from drive to drive, quarter to quarter. I saw things being changed up from play to play, you know, guys moving around, a lot of guys walking around the line of scrimmage trying to confuse
Lawrence
Tom
Guy,
Brady.
Wise.
Not, you know, trying to confuse him about who to block and things like that. And then I also saw Tom Brady, yeah, he was a little off, but I look at it as he was a little bit of cautious last night. You know, I think he knew the power of Bill Belichick. I think he knew that Bill Belichick was scheming some things and knows how to get to him, and that's why you saw him have to rush for that, you know, do some things outside of what we usually see with Tom Brady and rush for first downs and things like that. To your point, Peter, I do think Tom Brady is the greatest quarterback ever. I still think he's up there. But Bill Belichick, he called a hell of a game. He can affect any quarterback. He affected Tom Brady. No matter how much you want to say Tom Brady's the GOAT, he affected Tom Brady, the greatest quarterback to ever play this game. He did. And Bill Belichick and this New England Patriots team, they're going to win a lot of games this season. I don't think they're going to beat my Bills, but they're going to win a lot of games.
I was impressed with the Patriots, D2, and Belichick. The Brady-Belichick Cold War will be settled in the coming years with what becomes of the Mac Jones Patriots and what he does afterwards. But one of the things that was emblematic of that whole relationship they've had for years was Belichick's ability to not give a crap about a controversial decision the next morning. I don't know why they kicked that field goal. It's jobs like us that we say the next morning, what were we doing? So let's just think about this. So if he tried a 56-yard field goal on a 4th and 3 in a driving rain, credit to Chris Rose, he had this information. Nick Folk was 1 of 4 from 56 yards in his career. Even if he makes the field goal, you give Brady the ball back with 2 timeouts. It was kind of a lose-lose. Mac Jones had completed 19 straight passes in this game, tying Brady's record. Maybe you give him the ball on 4th and 3 and say, see if you can get the 3 yards. The play prior, he had an easy completion. He definitely would have had a first down, and they got a pass deflection. Belichick said afterwards, I didn't really think about it. Who am I to question Belichick? I think they could have won that game if they went for it on 4th and 3. Very strange.
Collinsworth also said that his plant leg was really bothering him, so the long distance kicks were going to affect Folk. So 57 in the worst rain we've seen.
I know. It's a strange decision. I don't like it.
Second guess, Bill.
I like moral victories. I know it's like a hot like I think the Patriots should walk away feeling so good about this one. We sat here with Matt Castle telling us just there's 3 All-Pro receivers on the Tampa Bay team. They have the greatest to ever do it on their squad. He knows them in and out. It's his backyard. It's his old home. And